My cat's right here. He's probably going to say hi. You can see his eyebrows right here and his ears. Do you want to say hi, guys? Say hi, Binks. Hi, Binks. And there's his tail. Just gonna throw away my notes. Hello, my name is Bethany and I'm a bibliophilic witch, and today I want to talk about the author Riordan. A lot of you are aware of who Riordan is. He is the author of the Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus series. Those are his most widely known series, but he is also the author of the Kane Chronicles and the author of the Magnus Chase series. The Magnus Chase series, the first book just came out mid last year, somewhere around there. And he's really well known for doing his modern take on classic mythology and doing it for a young adult, more juvenile audience. And his main character, Percy Jackson, is known for being super sarcastic and witty and amusing. The books are just a really fun story. A lot of people really enjoy these books. I see these books everywhere. I see them all over BookTube and all over Booklore, and that's great. I love that you guys love these books. I've had people who have told me that Percy Jackson was what led them to Hellenismos. For those of you who are unaware of what Hellenismos is, or Greek polytheism, Hellenismos is the reconstruction of the classic, most antiquated worship of the Greek deities, whereas Greek polytheism is just working with those deities. And additionally, for those of you who are not aware, I am a polytheist. I believe in all the gods. This is not the video where I'm going to talk about my personal beliefs, but you can find some of that on my Tumblr, which will be linked below as usual, and you can learn more about my personal beliefs there. You can also ask me. I really don't mind talking about it, but this is not where I want to talk about that. So moving on. I am a polytheist. I actually specifically work with a Greek deity, and so that there is that. The problem that I have with Rick Riordan is not necessarily the way he writes his characters, though I'm not the biggest fan of that either. My problem is not that he writes modern takes on mythology or that he writes the gods. That is not my problem. My problem is the comments that he has made about pagans and polytheists. He has definitely been rude about the beliefs of those that believe in more than one God, those that do not believe in Christianity. I don't know specifically if he said anything about other Abrahamic beliefs, but he has definitely been negative about people who believe in the deities that he has written about. I do have a few comments that he has shared on his blog, and they are still there, and I'm just going to read them to you really quick here. On January 20th of 2007, he was just talking about Greek god weirdness, and he was saying, "We just found this posted from Associated Press, another story about an attempt by a tiny fringe group of Greeks to revive the worship of Greek gods. For years, worshiping the Greek gods has been against the law in Greece. Now this group is seeing how far freedom of religion can go. I love Greek myths, but why would anyone want to worship the Greek pantheon is beyond me. Still, it'll be an interesting court case to watch." It's not outright nasty in any way, but dismissing a person's beliefs simply because it is not the Christianity that you have grown up with is super problematic, and it's very offensive. And dismissing a person's religious beliefs makes it more difficult for that person to find credibility. And finding credibility for your beliefs is such a big deal. When you dismiss a person's religious beliefs simply because you see it as a story, you are blurring the lines of what religion is, and it becomes that much easier for us to say, why is Christianity any better? It's just a bunch of stories too. And that's what the problem really is for me. Like, no, that's not how this works. You respect another person's beliefs. Greek gods no longer illegal in Greece. May 27th, 2006. A very interesting story from The Guardian today. For centuries, worshiping the Greek gods has been illegal in Greece. It looks like that will now change. It's strange to think anyone would still worship the Olympians seriously, but it's also bizarre to think anyone would bother outlawing this. It is, after all, part of their national heritage in Greece. And that just very much goes along the lines of the first comment that he has made. It's very much dismissing a person's beliefs. Like, why would you want to worship these deities? Why? Why would you want to worship the Christian God? Why would anybody want to worship any deity of any kind? When you dismiss somebody's beliefs like that, you're just pulling into this whole debate. And he's stepping into that very lightly, but he's definitely stepping into that. And that, again, that's where my problem lies. He also has another comment that was made on December 9th of 2005. I'm just going to read a brief part of it. It's talking about mythology and censorship. A teacher had reached out to him because they were going to be reading one of the mythologies, one of the more popular mythologies, or just reading about the deities, which is something that's very typical in elementary school, and a parent had been very offended by this curriculum, and so his comment about it was, personally, I don't see any harm in learning mythology as long as we recognize the myths as stories that are part of our heritage and long since stopped being any kind of serious religion. And then we're moving on to the Norse mythology. If you're familiar with Norse mythology and ancient culture, there is a lot that in just our popular culture, the way we see the Norse mythology is very about warrior culture and everything. And that is to a point true, but there's so much more to it than that. And I barely know enough to be able to talk about it myself, even though I work a little bit with Norse deities. And this one is talking about how Norse heathenism is becoming very popular in prisons. And this has always been fairly well known. It is something that's quite common, but Christianity and other religions is also popular, and yet we don't have a problem with that. And again, that's just where the line is. You can't dismiss another religion. You can't focus on one religion's problems and not focus on the fact that other religions or the popular religions have those same difficulties. So the comment that he makes is, the more impossible it is, in my opinion, the more you learn about the mythology, the more impossible it is to take seriously as a religion. These are great stories, and the Norse myths are like the Greek myths, have influenced our culture in many ways. But after you've met Odin and Thor in the stories, who in their right mind would want to worship them? No, you don't understand the mythology enough and the culture that this is from enough to be able to say that about that. It's just, like I've said, just the way he has worded it, and primarily he's just dismissing these beliefs as they're not serious beliefs. And that is where my problem with the man lies. And then additionally, yes, these articles, all of these comments that he's made are old. They're all old. They're from the newest one. The latest is from 2007. So they are over 7 years old. And I readily will admit that. And you can disregard this video and this conversation and this dialogue if you so wish to on that basis alone. But also know that polytheists have reached out to him about this topic, about this, how he has responded to this. And he has absolutely no interest in apologizing. He dismisses us, he dismisses our beliefs as who in the right mind would want to believe this, as just old mythology, just old stories that have influenced our culture, and has no interest in apologizing for offending such a large demographic. You can take this however you wish to. I do believe it's really important, and I've been wanting desperately to do this video because I do want people to be aware. I have no problems, as I have stated, with people who read and enjoy this series. I have absolutely nothing against that. I have been told by people who have read and enjoyed the series and then found polytheism through it, and again, I have no problem with that. But I want people to be aware that the author is problematic. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a problematic person's creativity, but it's important to recognize that they are problematic so that we don't just blindly give to them. And so that's really why I wanted to do this video. I really hope that you have learned something. I am more than happy to start some discussion down in the comments section. Please come to me, talk about what you have to say about this. If you still strongly support even having listened to what I had to say, please let me know. I would love to discuss with you a bit. I just really would like to warn everybody that if the comments get too heated, too negative, I'm not going to pay any attention to them at that point because that's not a positive discussion at that point. And I just want to be able to open up this dialogue and just raise a little bit more of awareness because I see so much love for this author. And I just want people to be a little bit more aware that maybe he doesn't deserve quite as much love as we're giving him. Please like this video if you did enjoy it. Please share it if you want to share all of this information. I am going to have the links to all of the posts that I had. If you come across more links on his blog, if he has apologized and I just happened to miss it, go ahead and share it with me. If you've seen more recent comments that he has made, please share it with me. I don't mind one way or the other. I would love to have a reason to edit this video and say, oh, by the way, I've been proven wrong. Or to have just more awareness raised by this video. Please do subscribe. I do post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Thank you. Bye. Okay, book outlet last fall, and I was really sad when I realized it was the second book, so I decided to grab this one.
I was a little girl alone in my little world who dreamed of a little home for me.
The second book that I picked up is Trick.